All right, and welcome to the next fitness show. All right, I am here, and my name is Alexis Craig. Oops, there we go. And you are here for episode 71. Thank you for being here, and thank you. My co-host today is Kathy Rodriguez, the totally awesome coach and yoga teacher and trainer and all the things. Kathy, thank you for being here with me today.
Yay!
Yay, I'm so glad that you're here. And we have a lot to cover today, and we are honestly, the first thing I want to ask for you is please push some buttons on your screen. So push the like button, if you will. If you're not subscribed, please push the subscribe button. And also, if jump into the chat and say hi and say what's up in the chat. I would love to see you there. So today, things that we're going to talk about today, we have a really pertinent topic that has been coming up in class that we are going to be discussing. We also have a mailbag question, so thank you for submitting the mailbag questions and keep them coming. We have a move of the week, we have a stretch of the week, and we have a bunch of announcements, and we will end with a really fun seasonal food. So let's do this thing. Okay, so the topic of the day today is, are you shoulding all over yourself? So, Kathy, I know this came up because this was a topic in one of your classes that kind of kept going and going. So tell us a little bit about what are we talking about here?
Well, I did a whole series and we talked about, decluttering our lives, right? Decluttering our lives for spring. So we talked about decluttering our things to do for our bodies, and for our minds. And this one really came up as a big one for our mind. It's why we tackled it first. It's decluttering the shoulds in our lives. And so many times we get stuck in the shoulds, that our lives are about everybody else's expectations and not our own. And so that was, we feel obligated to attend things. We pursue a different career path. And so it also comes in the form of what we do for ourselves. Well, I should be here in my exercise and my fitness. And so we talked about that part too. And at the end of the conversation, it was a really wonderful wellness walk. It was so many aha moments happened. Right. And that's why I loved about talking about this subject, because there are so many places in our lives, not just our fitness, where the shoulds get in the way. Right. We let those shoulds rule our world.
Right. This is something I can relate to so much. And I guess when you say you let the shoulds take over, I mean, what does that actually look like? Do you imagine?
Well, it is.
I hear the big sigh immediately. It's like,
Yeah. Well, we say yes, right, out of obligation, not because we truly want to do something. And how many times do we find ourselves doing that, right? Or we feel guilty when we want to just say no, or we want to take a rest, right? Rest days in fitness are so important as well. And we've talked about that many times here, that we should not feel guilty for resting, not just in our fitness, but in the rest of our lives, right? We start making excuses for why we don't rest. And then when we do, we make excuses for why we are.
right. Without instead of just feeling worthy of just resting because
Exactly.
you're just allowed to rest.
Because all those shoulds and everybody else's shoulds are getting in the way. And so we start living somebody else's life and not the one we're supposed to.
Yeah, this is such a pertinent topic, and I just feel like, especially, I feel like especially for women, this is the thing, and maybe that's true for men too. I just know that that's I can feel it a lot. And for me, when I really feel into should and the word should, the first thing that comes up for me is who says? Right? And really, I encourage you when you're looking at anything that you would say should to ask yourself, who says?
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe the who says is actually yourself.
Yeah.
And in that case, you might decide that that is the thing that you're choosing. And if the who says is anyone else other than you, then I would just say to really look at who is the authority here that you have enrolled, and is that person really in charge in some way? And you might still choose to do the thing that you're telling yourself that you should do. But for me, at least, when I feel like I should do it, then I often feel resentment toward doing it. And I feel obligated to do it. And it feels like something I am being forced to do. And anytime I'm being forced to do the thing, then I'm not really like in my sovereignty. I'm not really coming to it from a place of choice. I'm not in my power, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I feel like this person's telling me I should do it, then I need to look at who says I should do it. And if I decide to do it, then I'm going to choose to do it. And then I'm taking responsibility for that choice, regardless of what all the shoulds might be coming around with it.
Well, and I'm going to take it that next step further, right? That's what I do.
Yep.
So if you hit those shoulds, ask yourself why,
Yep.
right? Why should you? Because this person said so? Why are you doing it? Why is that should more important than what you actually want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why is their opinion more important than your own?
Yep.
And oftentimes we do things because of the should without thinking of the why. Why am I doing this?
Right.
Am I doing it for somebody else or am I doing it for me? And if I'm doing it for me, what's my why behind it? Right? I want to do a 5K. I want to go run a 5K. Why? Because I want to feel healthier? Because I look cute in the outfit of the theme? Right? What's my why? And if you're okay with whatever that why is for you, then no matter what anybody else says, you're going to do it because you have a why behind it versus a should behind
Right.
it.
And it might be many whys, right? Like I
Right?
just heard you say that why, because I want to feel healthier. Well, why do you want to feel healthier? And why do you
Yes.
want that? And why do you want that? So you can really get to the root of your values, and then you'll be
5
clear.
whys.
Yeah, exactly.
Takes 5
Exactly.
whys to get to that
Totally.
root.
And it's like, are you really in alignment with your values in doing this thing, or are you just doing it because you're avoiding feeling bad or shame or something like that, right? And I can just see in the chat right now, first of all, look at all these people in chat. Aaron says hello, Daniela says hello, Edie says hey, Megan says hey, hey, Carol says hi there, Donna D says hello. Awesome. All right, mom's in here, welcome. All right, so Carol says, should have said. That's where this comes up for you. What you should have said. I relate to that
Mm,
one so much, right? So it might not be
right.
that I'm doing the thing or that I'm not doing what I want to do, but it's a sense of regret or even shame about the way something went down that's in the past, and my head is just circling on it, and I'm thinking I should have said this, I should have said this, like that kind of thing. Yeah. What do you suggest for should have said?
Well, for should have said, first off, notice, so for me in my human design, my throat is defined, meaning I usually, if I'm not saying what I'm supposed to, I have a tell. So I
Mm,
will do this, I'll do this, I'll clear my
mm.
throat, I'll drink a lot of water, and I know that about myself. So if I'm not saying something and that tell is showing up, I know to say something. But when we tend to go with the I should have said this, start asking yourself again the why. Why didn't I say something? Right? Why do I feel I should have said it? Why
Mm-hmm.
didn't I say it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Examine more on, stop kicking yourself for not responding, right?
Right. Or
Learn,
responding in a way that you might be questioning because maybe you
Yes.
said something and you're thinking you should have said something else.
Yes. So
Right.
stop questioning it, right? Again, lead up to the person again. After thinking about what you said, I wanted to share this,
Right.
right? Make
Right.
that follow up that you should have. A lot of our shoulds, when it comes to a conversation, lead us to down that avenue of self-doubt and self-criticism.
Mm-hmm.
We criticize ourselves on what we should have done or should have said.
Right.
It's not productive.
Right. Where I love what you're asking the why around that because sometimes what actually might be productive is the self-evaluation. So
Yes.
without shaming or shoulding,
Yeah.
to ask yourself, why didn't I say that? And why do I want to say that? There may be some introspection that's available
Mm.
there that may show you something. It might show you an intention. It might show you that you were looking to protect that person. It might show you that you didn't feel that they were ready to hear it at that time, whatever the case may be in that moment. And so that might actually be valuable information moving forward that you can, and I love what you're saying with coming back to it too, especially it's like the story isn't over.
Yes.
So when you're saying whether it's talking about something or you should be doing something or whatever it might be, this is great information for us to take when you do look at that behavior, whatever it is you're saying you should do, the story's not over. What can you do about it now, especially when you're clear on the why?
Well, and that's where we get in those spirals, right? When we don't do it and then we criticize ourselves for not doing it, we don't do that follow up when we could have, right?
Right.
We
Yeah.
I should have run faster. Well, okay, so the next time you run a little faster, right? Don't kick yourself for the run you just did. Be happy you just did it, and then run a little faster the next time, right?
Or
Don't
maybe you ran or maybe that was the best you could do and you're just beating yourself up.
Yes. Yes. Do you know how many people that I know in the last year that have sustained injuries because they kept pushing their bodies because of a should or a
Seriously.
visual?
Seriously. Like that
I'm
is such
like,
a
and
thing.
they keep doing it over and over and over again. I'm sitting here going, why?
Right.
I'm okay being at a certain pace, at a certain rate, and recognizing that every day my body is different and I don't have to get a 10.5 minute mile on a run.
Right.
Don't have to do anything, right?
Yes. Well, I'm just amplifying that right there. You don't have to do anything. You are
Yeah.
always at choice. You don't have to do anything. You're always at choice. Choose it and then own your choice.
Own your
Totally.
choice. Own
So
your
this is
choice.
beautiful. Thank you for talking to me
Yes.
about this. Thank you for everybody who's in the chat too. I can see mom in the chat saying too many, guilty, guilty, guilty. And which I could relate. Yes. And Edie is in here saying all our wellness walks rock. So I am totally with you, Edie. And y'all, if you love this conversation and to just even go down these types of topics, Kathy's Wellness Walk class is on Tuesdays. Tell us a little bit about what that class is before we go on.
Well, it is a 25-minute walking class. It's like I tell everybody, it's one step to the step of your future, right? It is your pace, your grace. We are walking and talking the whole time. We go off on tangents. We had a topic this week that ended up being, it's going to be a two-parter because we couldn't get through the whole topic. We've had one that's been a three-parter because it was
Nice.
such a deep, juicy topic.
Nice.
And so sometimes the members, they send me a little message via DM and say, hey, can we talk about this? And that was this week's, was Edie's suggestion. And other times I just, I get the little download to talk about a specific topic and we talk about it. And you get those light up moments and then you get the power behind the community. That's what I love about the wellness walks,
Right. It's like
right?
such shared wisdom too. I mean, of
Yes.
course you have so much wisdom to share, and it's also the whole community and everybody has something to sprinkle in there so that you really
Yes.
get this really diverse look at the topic at hand. And I love also how after you teach the wellness walk. Before the wellness walk, it's always kind of a surprise of what the topic is going to be, at least for me. But I usually take that class as a replay. So I love how you label the replay and put what the topic is, so that way, if you are looking through our replay library and you're looking at the wellness walks, you can see what is going to be talked about in all of those recordings before you get there, because you might be pinged that this would be a really good topic for me today.
Well, and what most people don't know is if you take your phone, you got the app on, you're looking through the replay library. If you turn your phone sideways, landscape, you can actually read the entire topic.
Ah, thank
So
you for that.
sometimes when you're doing it this way, you can see Wellness Walk
Cut
25
off.
and maybe it's cut off. If you just flip your phone this way, you can read the whole thing.
Nice. That's an awesome tip. And meanwhile, Donna D says that she loves the wellness walks. Erin says that she's gonna have to listen in while she's working. Nice. And Mom says, it's good to know that you're not alone in the feelings. Awesome.
Yes. And that I think is one of the most amazing parts of it, right? Is when we hit a deep topic and someone really feels it here, you've got everybody in the chat is just supportive,
Yep.
encouraging, right? They are there. It's really that place to go be seen and heard. And even if you're listening on the replay, there's something that you're going to go, oh my God, I never thought of doing that. Or,
Right.
oh my God, that's totally me.
Right. It's like you
When
don't
you get
feel
that,
alone with having to
exactly.
deal with that. And it's
Yes.
not just you.
Yes.
So I relate to that part so much.
Well,
So
and it's the idea that everybody wants us to fit into a box. I hate boxes. I really do.
my cat loves them.
Well, yeah. Right? They all want us to fit in these boxes. And when you don't, you feel bad about yourself when you don't feel fit into a box.
Mm-hmm.
This is the space, this community, this fitness, the app, right? This is the place that if you don't feel like you fit in the box and everybody wants you in there, this is where you can be you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For yourself from the
For yourself.
box.
Yep.
Totally. Nice. Aaron says this community is heart, 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 heart. The best. I never feel alone with all of you. Aw. That's great. All right, let's move on to our next thing. Thank you, Kathy. This is great.
Okay.
Okay, so next we have a mailbag question. This question came in from one of our members. So the mailbag question today is coming from Jenny. And first of all, thank you, Jenny, for sending in this question. I'm really grateful to have the question, and it's a really good one. The question is, why does soreness and stiffness that can occur after a workout not show up for a couple of days? Since there seems to be a day of feeling great after the workout, what can you do to avoid the sore, stiff feeling and keep the feeling great feeling going on? All right. So I love this question because this is the kind of thing where some people really experience this a lot. Other people maybe not so much. If you do experience this, I would love to hear in the chat. What you're talking about right here, I would call the DOMS. This is the DOMS. It's delayed onset muscle soreness. That is what that is. The DOMS. Kathy, do you get the DOMS?
Sorry, I had to unmute, but I usually don't. Right? I know my body. I listen to my body. I've had injury in the past, so I recognize how far I can push my body so that I don't have it. But as a yogi and as a runner, I am all about the warm-ups, the cool downs, the stretches, the foam rolling, all of those things that you have to do to prevent those things from happening. Again,
Right.
I have a lot of runner friends that so what I'm hearing all the time is DOMS, DOMS, DOMS. And I'm like, well, maybe if you just let your body rest, right?
That is definitely that is definitely a thing. So my understanding of the DOMS, I get the DOMS all the time. I actually do. I get this regularly. So usually I get the DOMS if I go really hard on a workout. Like I really lifted heavy, or I do a movement pattern that is new. And it might not be brand new, but it's something that my muscles haven't been doing recently. So if I'm doing something I haven't done in a while, I'll get the DOMS. And so those for me are usually the two times I get it. And I would say for my clients, I've had a lot, especially personal training clients, where I'm in very close contact with them and how they feel after the workout and all of those things. And so I will hear about getting the DOMs usually after we lifted really heavy or we did something new that we haven't done in a while. And usually that is where that comes from. Everyone's different and it might be different for you. My understanding of how you get this is that when you are working out that there's essentially like micro tears that are going on in your muscle and especially for strength training. Usually this is something you get from strength training. So you get micro tears in your muscle from strength training, and the first day after, you just kind of feel like an exhaustion from that. And then the second day is when the inflammation comes in because of there's essentially, I mean, the way you get stronger from strength training is basically damage and repair and damage and repair. That's the process. And so the inflammation that comes in after you have done the damage in the strength training is where you're getting that feeling from. So I'm not surprised to hear that you're having this experience. If it is outrageously excruciating and it lasts for more than a week, there is like a whole, it might actually be a reason to go to the doctor. So if you're ever having that where, I mean, there is a version of this where you pushed yourself way too far and like that could be an issue, but I would say I've never had any client ever have that experience, and I've definitely never had that myself. So I don't want to over alarm you on that, but I do want to call attention to it. But in general, you can avoid the DOMs in a couple of ways, and you might not be able to avoid it, but some ways you possibly could would be one, active recovery. That means you work out the next day. I feel like, Kathy, that's probably why you never get the DOMs is because you work out every day. Yeah, Kathy works out every day for sure. It seems like at least. I can't speak for you, but
Yes,
it seems like you work out every day.
I do.
Yeah. The other thing is to make sure that your muscles are well nourished. So you're hydrated and also that you have well nourished your muscles, especially after in that recovery process. It's important that there's proteins there. It's important that you have all of the micronutrients there that are going to help you in that recovery process. So there's that. Um, Foam rolling does help. I know we talked about that last week, and a lot of people said you're not into it. And I'm not sure if Jenny is one of those people. I think Jenny actually said that she finds it really painful. So,
Mm.
foam rolling is an option. And if you want tips on that, look at last week's show. We talked about it a lot. Um, Also, don't go as hard is one way to avoid it, just saying. But don't skip the cool down.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't skip the cool down. Make sure you like a lot of our classes don't have the cool down. It's like a 25-minute class, so it's really just the work. But we usually put yoga or stretch class right after the workout. So if you haven't been coming
okay.
to the yoga or stretch class after the workout, I definitely would encourage you to go to it. I
Well,
know.
and Megan says that I usually drink a lot of water and foam roll immediately after a spicy workout since I get it a lot. And then Edie asked, does hydration help or creatine?
Yeah,
You know,
I would say hydration definitely. I'm not an expert for creatine.
yeah.
What I would say, my understanding of how creatine works, and if RD Sharon B, if you're in here and you want to answer this question, if you're in the chat, please do it. My understanding of at least how creatine affects me is it gives me explosiveness during my workout. So it makes me more powerful to perform more, like more energetically during my workout. So I would say my understanding of when to take the creatine is before, and then protein after. And my understanding is that especially for women, it's important to eat protein within 30 minutes after doing heavy strength training in order to have the amino acids available for the repair. So I got that from Stacy Sims. Look her up and get that information from her. She knows way more about it than me. The other things that you could do, go ahead.
I was going to say, and again, this is a RD Sharon B thing, but if you think about it, if you know you've done that kind of workout that is going to typically give you the DOMS, which is like, as you said, the inflammation, then what are you taking in nutrition wise that will help counteract that? So the anti-inflammatories and making sure you're not taking in the things that are typically inflammatory to your
Good
body.
point. I think that's a really good point. Yeah. Noticing, because I can imagine that you might be more likely to get it if you do have, a bunch of inflammatory stuff in your system. So that's a good point. I can't speak to, you know, scientific evidence of that or not, but
Right.
that makes sense to me. And then the other thing, just saying, is you might want to try Epsom salt bath or like topical magnesium. Again, I'm not a doctor, just check it out. Epsom salt baths help me a lot. And then the other thing I really love for this, because I'm telling you, I get this all the time. I'm not going to say it's a goal of mine, but when I get it, I'm like, yes! I feel like I really built some strength in that workout. Yes! So you might want to just change your mindset about it and enjoy it when you get it. But the other thing I really love is hydrotherapy. So what that looks like is super as hot as you can stand water, as cold as you can stand water, as hot as you can stand water, as cold as you can stand water. And you go back and forth between hot and cold, maybe in the shower, maybe in the bathtub or some combination, or, hot tub cold dip or sauna, jump in the snow or whatever that is for you. But it really helps to clear it.
I'll give you a helpful hint though.
Okay.
If you do it in the shower, make sure you put it like back at the middle or something after you get out. My husband gets in the shower and he's like, "Are you taking cold showers for a reason?" Yes, actually, I am. Because you just turn the handle and you forget to turn it back because it's so cold. You just shove it
Uh-huh.
closed.
Right?
Maybe
It
after you
makes
put
your
the
hair
towel
shiny.
on.
Makes your hair shinier and oh yeah, totally. Aaron says to a certain point I like it. Yep, I'm with you. And what else? Carol is saying trying something new or pushing to a new level, but um it lasts only a day or so. Right. It usually only lasts a day or so. For me, actually, I really find it informative. So
Mhm.
there was a time when I did a 400-meter lunge walk and I was holding a 25-pound plate in each hand. I don't know if I could even do that now, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And so I basically, my quads were dying. And honestly, it showed me, number one, on a lunge, you really want to be firing your glutes. So that taught me that number one, my lunge form was not on point because my glutes didn't feel it at all and only my quads did. So I learned that my lunge form was not ideal. And also, for the next few days, I learned every time I fired my quads. Every time I fired my quads for a few days, I felt it for sure. So it really helped me with body awareness because I knew, oh, when I climb the stairs, I feel my quads. Oh, when I reach up and reach for something in the cabinet and go on my tiptoes, I feel my quads. So it really helped me learn my body better.
But that's a really good mailbag question too, right? Or even something to address with one of the trainers is when you do certain exercises, if your body is screaming at you, maybe your form isn't what it's supposed to be,
Yeah,
right? Maybe you can change that focus and change how you do that particular exercise with the guidance of someone who is a professional, like
good point.
Miss Alexis here, right? So that you don't further injure your body.
It's true. And I also just want to make sure what we're talking about here is muscle soreness. We're not talking about joint pain.
No.
Joint pain is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling muscle soreness a couple days later, good for you. If you're feeling joint pain, that means we got to take a look at that. All right. So thank you for the mailbag question, Jenny. We're so grateful to have the question. It's really, really helpful. If you'd like to send a mailbag question, please do. You send an email to tnft@thenextfitnessthing.com. All right. So let's go to our stretch break. After talking about the DOMs, we definitely want to go to the stretch break. Oh, actually, I think I have it right there. So the stretch break today was chosen by Kathy. And our stretch of the day. Oh, where did it go? Oh, I know what it was. Here it is. I got it. This is the stretch of the day. It is figure four. All right, Kathy, tell us why you chose figure four. Tell us what figure four is. Tell us all about it. You're on mute.
I do that in between and I forget to unmute. There we go. So I chose figure four because everybody can do it no matter where you are, right? As you can see in the video, you can do it supine, meaning laying down. That protects right your back. So if you tend to hunch over and things like that, you can bring your legs up. You can do it seated, you can do it standing, you can do it, well, I don't know, on the airplane. Yes, on the airplane. Right?
I feel like you might have personal experience with this. Are you doing figure four on the airplane?
I do it on the airplane. I do figure four literally as I'm standing in line waiting to board the airplane.
Like right here in this video, right here.
Yep.
This is your standing
Yep. I
figure
might
four.
not fold over all the way. You know, they always have pillars for you to stand throughout the airport. There's a pillar somewhere. So I lean and do a figure four, and people are looking at me like, what is this lady doing? And I'm like, well, when we all get off the plane in 5 hours, I'm going to walk off nice and easy, and you're going to be like looking like you're 95. So just saying.
Nothing wrong with being
So
95.
yeah, and I do it in the car, in a car ride. And even if I'm driving, I'm doing not my right leg, obviously, but I'm doing it with my left. My friends are used to it now, right? I can drive with one foot.
As long as it's not a stick shift, I guess you're good.
Right. And I mean, you're stuck in traffic. I'm going to figure four because it feels so incredible. And then when I get out at the other end, yes, I know I'm silly. I'm weird. Figure four everywhere, but I love figure four, and that's why I chose it.
Nice. Edie says, Kathy, for sure, figure fours all over, right? I mean, for sure. I just love to see on these videos how you really dorsiflex your foot. So on the leg, that's the lifted leg, you want to make sure that you flex your foot, dorsiflex, curl your toes back. It makes sure that your leg is active. So the muscle that you're stretching is active. That's particularly important on this stretch because we want to protect the knee. And if you keep your foot kind of more flaccid, you could let your stretch go into your knee connective tissue, which would not be good. So instead, keeping the foot active is good. I also just want to point out, first of all, Kathy's balance is amazing, and you could lean against a wall or something here.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathy also, or butt on the wall or whatever. But Kathy, I even cut off from this video, and maybe I wish I didn't now, can forward fold here and go down to the ground. And I mean, there is even a version of this where you go to an arm balance in figure four too. Like what? Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, and that's why when you mention the foot, right, the dorsiflexion, when that foot comes up, when that supine position, if you think about it, when I'm standing figure four, my foot is that foot is the one on the ground, is the one that's lifted here in this position. Right. So it would be
dorsiflexed. Yep, it would. So
we should
make sure you switch sides if you're doing this in real life right now.
There we go.
Nice. Yep. All right, cool. I just want to point one more thing on the wall on this supine version. I like to put my foot, meaning this foot, on the wall so that you don't have to use the leg. So the foot right there is hovering in the air, but you could put that on the wall. Also, the seated version, I like to put my back against the wall so that it helps. The seated version is generally more intense than the lying on your back version, just saying. So anyway, that's figure four. I know shout out to Michelle. I know it's your very favorite pose. So I'm just giving you a shout out because I just think of you whenever we do figure four. I'm like, oh, this is Michelle's favorite. So hi, Michelle. All right, so moving on. We also have the move of the week, and Kathy chose this move of the week as well. And you might detect a theme here. We're going with the yoga stuff. This move of the week is, drumroll please, goddess pose. Oh, look at this. Oh, look, wait a minute. I gotta spotlight you here. We gotta do it.
I can't. You can't see me. I'm too tall.
Tall girl problems. All right, tell us about goddess pose. What is this pose? Why do we do it? And what's the benefits?
Oh, I don't know. I just love it.
Good answer. Good answer. Good
You can
answer.
do goddess seated, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
everybody, if you're seated right now, you can put those knees out, right? Flex those feet out, right? Oh my God, the stretch, the hip opener. I love pulsing in goddess, lifting
Mm-hmm.
the feet, doing side crunches. My
Yep.
poor class, it drives them nuts sometimes. It's like, oh God, she's moving to the side of the room. That versus the front of the room. That means because they're going to go side of their mats and that's where they're going to be facing. That means we're doing goddess work.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing, Alexis, about goddess pose?
Well, to be totally honest with you, my favorite part of goddess pose is that this is the embodiment of the goddess, which basically means that you're recognizing that the divine feminine is strong and
Mhm.
flexible.
Yes.
And the reason this is called goddess pose, my understanding, I learned this at the Yoga Journal conference. They said that the reason this is called goddess pose is because this is the position that you are meant to give birth to your baby.
Yeah.
So I know that in our culture, you lie on your back in the hospital. That's mostly for the convenience of the doctor, and that the indigenous woman would go into the,
Squat
would a
position.
squat position and that let gravity help
Yeah.
to in the birth process. So that is my understanding of why this is called that. And I love this pose because it activates glute medius. I love it because it's strength and flexibility. And I just, it brings a lot of heat, the goddess
Yes.
pose. It's really kind of an intense one. The
But it's
thing,
really, it's that embodiment of the feminine,
hmm
right? Because you're opening all of your body up here, right? If you open up those arms too,
hmm
right? I mean, I have a photo of me and doing a sunset yoga pose, and I'm in full expression of the goddess, and
beautiful.
it's one of my most powerful favorite photos of myself,
Yeah, it's a very
right?
powerful position.
It is.
And you might be thinking, so for those of you who might not consider yourself yogis yet, you might think of this pose as sumo squat, and it is essentially the same as sumo squat. And as a sumo squat or goddess, either one, the thing I want to point out here is it's very important that your knees are not caving forward.
Yes.
And Mary Beth, we love you, and I'm sorry to call you out on this right now. And I know that Mary Beth has knee things going on. And so basically, right here, you can see the knees kind of caving toward the big toe side of the foot, and that's going to create a shearing force on your knee. So what we're looking to do is actively pull the knees out using glute medius to prevent injury in goddess pose and also in sumo squat. So please make sure that you're really, really focused on that when you do that pose and that move in general. So,
We this week in class we did goddess,
ooh,
and
nice.
well, we do it. My ladies are used to it, right? Both here and live, and in this case it was live, and I had everyone, because I had a new student who hadn't done goddess in class before. I had everyone go to the mirrors and
Nice.
flatten their back,
Nice.
right? And then I went around and guided them to find the right position for their hips, their knees, their feet,
There you go.
for their bodies before they dropped down fully.
Nice.
So they
Beautiful.
could keep that back lifted, that chest lifted, because so many times people do goddess and they cave in.
Cave forward. Mm-hmm.
And it's all about being proud of the goddess, right? That was the that was
Exactly.
the theme yesterday, right?
Yep.
Own your proud, right? Be proud of your
Yep.
power. And that is a power pose beyond all power poses. And that's why I love it, because it is, I'm saying I'm beautiful in my feminine.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yes.
So that's going to a wall. If you're going to practice goddess, go to a wall, flatten your back, right? Find that space for your hips, not somebody else's hips, your hips. Because people do, they think, oh, the instructor, look at what she looks like. Well, but
Right.
her hips are
Oh,
different.
her legs are already all the way open. Her knees
Yeah,
are on the wall too. That doesn't
yeah,
mean that that's the version that you need to do, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Find it for you and your body. So,
Love it. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing Goddess Pose with us. And I would love to hear in the chat if any of you have any thoughts on Goddess Pose. Love it, hate it, surprised to hear anything about it. Let's hear it. And in the meantime, let's do our announcement. So we have one really fun, brand new announcement, which is Pride. We are having a Pride Walk. It's on Saturday, June 28th. It's the last Saturday of June. I'm going to lead it. Please come. It's going to be really fun. Dress in rainbows and just really, it's going to be an awesome time. This class is completely free. So you can invite your friends, you can invite anyone who you want to. They go to thenextfitnessthing.com/pride and can sign up there, and it doesn't even ask for a credit card or anything. Just come to Pride. Our next announcement is International Yoga Day. Yay. So International Yoga Day is on summer solstice. It is on June 21st. That is a Saturday. And we are having a really special class with 3 instructors doing this together. So Kathy is going to kick it off. I'm going to pick it up from there. And then Casey is going to take it to the cool down at the end. So all 3 of us are team leading that class. It is also free. So invite your friends. We're giving you a lot of free things right now. So please invite people to come, and you please show up too. And the International Yoga Day class is one class on one day, but it kicks off our 30 days of yoga poses challenge. This challenge is also completely free. And what we're going to do is go on a deep dive into one pose per day for 30 days. So this, you don't even have to commit to a class or a time. All you do is open up your email, and you're going to get an email with that pose of the day with information about it and a video and all of that kind of thing. And then you are asked to try it. And if you'd like to, you can post a video of yourself doing it. And then we have a scorecard and a chance to win and all that kind of stuff too. But anyway, so to sign up for, I got to give the URLs here. For sign up for International Yoga Day, it's thenextfitnessthing.com/International Yoga Day. That's a long URL. And the URL for the 30 days of yoga poses challenge is thenextfitnessthing.com/30 days of yoga. Okay. The other thing going on right now is we have the Walk It Like You Own It challenge. We've referenced this a couple times in this show today. It's been really fun. I don't know if you guys have seen Kathy's stories that we've been resharing on Instagram, but if you haven't, I encourage you to go on our Instagram story and see Kathy's stories, or go on Kathy's and see it there. But yeah, Kathy's teaching this too. Mary Beth is teaching this too. It's been a blast. I've been loving seeing everyone's shares on social. So keep it up. Remember that to be part of the like the game part of this, you have to post publicly. So whatever the topic is of the day, post it publicly and tag the Next Fitness Thing in your public post. Okay, Kathy, do you have anything to say about any of these?
I taught one, right? But I have been taking the other ones, and it is, I'm hearing from a lot of people, it's so incredibly powerful because each day we're owning something new.
Yep.
And so many of us will find something within that own it that we didn't realize we were letting somebody else own instead.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's
And so
amazing, especially with our topic we talked about with the shoulds today. That's amazing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so I think it is so beneficial to everyone to listen to and move your body while listening to this, because you just find, you start walking straighter and more confident, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna own that.
Yep. And it also just helps you embody it if you're moving your body while you take this class, it really helps you to be able to, it sort of drops resistance because you're just in motion, and it helps you to really embody it while you're doing it. So
Yep.
beautiful.
And Edie shared that she said it's a great challenge.
Thanks, Edie. Awesome. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm loving it too. Okay, the next announcement is our book club is not this weekend, but next. So if you haven't started the book yet, definitely start it. Born to Run is the book. It's a fantastic book. I'm really enjoying reading it again. I'm leading this book club this time. It's my first time ever leading the book club. I'm so excited to share this book with you. I love this book. So, and there's just so much to learn from this book. Plus, it's a really fun read too. So, Nextfitnessthing.com/book club will help you find the book if you need help finding it. And you can also, on that URL, listen to all the old book clubs on the links are there too. Okay. Freebie Friday time. All right, let's do it. We have a Freebie Friday winner. Let's see. I got this. All right, Kathy, you want to do sound effects? You're so good at it. I know I put you on the spot. You ready? Okay, and here we go. You're on mute. Well, I can hear the sound effects though. Dun dun! Nancy is our Freebie Friday winner! Yay! Congratulations, Nancy! I'm so glad you'll be hearing from us, and so that you can claim your awesome prize. Congratulations. For everyone to enter Freebie Friday, comment on our YouTube videos. Not talking about live chat. Comment a comment. So even if you're in this class, you can comment on this video. Just make sure that you get out of the live chat and leave a comment on the video, and that's how you are entered to win. Nice. Aaron's listening to it now. What are we talking about? The walking class? The book club? I'm not sure. Okay. And we have one more quick topic in here, which is our food of the day is berries. Now, Kathy chose this. Why did you choose berries?
I love berries. I love it's the season and we have berry farms all over us. So there's little places that I can pick them up that, aren't the grocery store and they actually taste like a strawberry. We have blueberries all over, blueberry farms. They're just such a healthy sugar. And so it's so easy to eat them naturally without adding the additional sugar. My husband, who is pre-diabetic, it is the one thing that they say when it comes to fruits that he should be eating because it gives a good burst of that energy and that sugar without taking his, blood glucose.
Right, doesn't
up
raise your blood
skyrocket.
sugar.
Yep.
Right,
So,
totally. They're super nutrient dense, they're low in calories, they're
yes.
low, they won't like spike your glycemic as much as a lot of other things will. Tons of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. I will say organic is definitely better when it comes to berries. The berries soak up whatever's in their environment, so
Mhm.
I would definitely encourage organic and local, of course, if you can. They're great for your brain, they're great for your heart, they're great for your guts, they're great for your skin. So eat the berries.
Why not eat berries?
The bears love them. And how do you eat berries?
I just eat them. But no, my
Me
favorite
too.
is some, I'll take some whipped cream, but that's not whipped, and just pour it over because it's a really
Oh,
good, well, because it's a really good fat to balance the sugars as well.
sure. Love it. Awesome. I love berries too.
Berries and cream.
I love frozen berries even when they're in season right now, so I don't really need the frozen berries as much, but I do love frozen berries. My mom is like eating frozen blueberries as her dessert. I love that. I like berries and peanut butter. I like berries
Mm.
on I could just eat like the whole big thing of any berry anytime, basically, too.
Well,
I'm
and
so here for it.
a lot of people say that the berries mold pretty quickly for
Yeah,
them.
they do.
Did you know that apple cider vinegar destroys the molds that are
Oh,
on berries? So if you rinse your berries and, just like a capful with like a gallon of water and rinse your berries and then let them dry, they'll last
interesting.
much longer because the apple cider vinegar kills the
Huh.
mold spores. So,
That's great to know. That's great to know. Mom says frozen berries are so fun. Erin says she loves them in cottage cheese. Nice.
mm,
Awesome. All
yes.
right, so eat your berries. They're totally in season right now. Buy them from your local farmer if you can. We're growing berries right now, so of course I want you to buy them from the local farmer. The berry bushes, you might even be able to find them wild, but watch out because there's spikes on the berry bushes, just saying. All right, awesome. That brings us to the end of this show. Kathy, thank you for being here with me live. It's so fun to have you in here. It really made it a fun show. Thank you. Everybody sign up for the yoga challenge and for the yoga International Yoga Day class. And Kathy is teaching tomorrow. So on Saturday, come to Kathy's class on Saturday and work out with her in the morning. It's pretty early. Jump in there.
Yeah, we're
Next
starting with hits, so you got this.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get your heart rate up right off the bat. Meanwhile, next week, Anna is going to be my co-host next week. So come back next week, and Anna will be here talking about all the things Anna loves. And she's so passionate about so many things. It's gonna be great. All right. Thank you. Love you, team. And let's dance it out and have some fun. Let's go.